Receiving a denial for your VA disability claim is discouraging and can feel like a total gut punch, leaving you frustrated, not understanding what's going on, angry, and all sorts of things. What do you do next when this happens? I'm going to go over the top 10 reasons why VA claims get denied and what to do if your claim gets denied. And I hope that's not you. I know that I've had this happen to me, myself, and getting denied is no fun. But there is good news and there is hope for you that you have options to challenge the VA's rating decision and potentially take a denial and turn it into an approval and a positive thing to get the benefits that you deserve. So I am going to break all this down for you, okay? A VA claim denial is not the end of the road for you. We're going to go over some of the common reasons that claims are denied. We're going to talk about action plans if you get denied and what to do after a denial and to be proactive, prepared, and always, as I say in almost every video, do not give up. Okay. So, the number one reason why the VA denies disability claims, okay, is no current diagnosis and medical record. You must have a current diagnosis, okay? You can't claim something and not have a diagnosis, okay? The VA requires a current diagnosis to consider a disability claim. If a veteran does not have a formal diagnosis from a healthcare provider, the claim is likely to be denied. It is not enough to simply report symptoms, okay? Hey, I have this going on. I'm feeling fatigued. I'm feeling tired. I'm having nightmares. There must be an official medical diagnosis documented in the medical records that you have. If you've been out for a while, make sure, key tip here, veterans, that you have up to date medical evidence and that you continue to get seen. If it's a problem, that's what the VA is paying you for. Okay. So, how do you avoid this altogether? Ensure that you, your private doctor, your VA doctor, in your medical records, that a licensed healthcare professional has diagnosed your condition. Obtain those medical records that explicitly state the diagnosis and submit these with your claim. Keep your medical records up to date, especially if you're receiving ongoing treatment. Okay. The number two reason why claims are denied, there's no nexus for service connection, there's no link. You need to establish service connection. A nexus, what is it? It's a clear link between the current disability and military service. If the evidence does not adequately demonstrate that the condition is related to or was aggravated by military service, then guess what? The VA may deny the claim. Okay. You got to prove how your condition, whatever you're filing for, was caused by service. Let me give an example of this. A common thing is sleep apnea. Veterans say, I've got sleep apnea and I got it diagnosed when I got out of service. Okay. But it's after you got out of service. How are you going to prove that service causes sleep apnea? That's why you get denied. You got to service connect. You got to nexus. You got to link it together. You got to prove that. If you got diagnosed afterwards, then remember, sleep apnea in this case is not a presumptive condition, and you need to secondary it off of something. Okay. Make sure that you get a proper nexus letter with the proper medical and scientific backed research literature to connect it and prove your point. The burden of proof lies on you. If you do need a nexus letter or a disability benefits questionnaire, look here in the description of this video. We have doctors that can help you, that are going to thoroughly look at the medical evidence and not just throw mud at a wall, as I always say. You need to provide a detailed nexus letter from a qualified healthcare provider that explains how the disability is linked to your, hear that, your military service. Include service treatment records in any incident report that supports the connection. Number three, no evidence of severity of symptoms. The VA needs evidence showing the severity of symptoms to assign an appropriate disability rating. How can you get that if you're not getting treatment? You can't. And listen, a big thing is, don't refuse medications, okay? Get them if you need it. Get the medications if you need it. Man, a big mistake that veterans make is they walk in and I ain't taking medications. I'm not going to the doctor. I can't stand treatment. Screw the VA. That's wrong. You can't do that. You need to get the treatment and the help that you need from some sort of medical health care professional, especially if you're going to complain and you want the VA to compensate you. You need to have up to date care and you need to not stop going. If the impact of the condition, you need to show how it impacts you daily, life, work, social functioning. You need to show that. If it is not documented, the claim may be denied or rated too low. Submit lay statements, meaning personal statements from your spouse, family, friends, battle buddies, coworkers. Make sure they're honest. Don't over elaborate. Make sure that they can attest to the impact of the condition of whatever you're filing for on your life. Number four, lack of sufficient medical evidence. If the medical evidence is incomplete, outdated, or does not adequately demonstrate the existence of or impact of the condition, then guess what? The VA may deny the claim due to insufficient proof. You need to compile all relevant medical records from both the VA and private healthcare providers. Ensure these records are comprehensive and include documentation of the diagnosis, treatment history, and progression of symptoms. Continue to get care. Number five, you miss a CMP exam. Do not do that. If you get a letter or an email from Optum, LHI, from QTC, if you fail to attend that scheduled CMP exam, the VA may deny the claim because it lacks the necessary information to evaluate the disability. Attend all scheduled CMP exams. Even if you've submitted a Nexus and a DBQ, I know it's frustrating, but there has to be checks and balances, and there's a lot of fraud going on out there, right? You need to reschedule them properly if you cannot attend. You need to be prepared for the exam by knowing your medical history and discussing how your condition impacts and affects your life. Okay. Number six, pre-existing condition without aggravation evidence. If a condition existed prior to military service and there is no evidence showing that service worsened the condition, the claim may be denied. So let's say that you had a knee injury. You need to prove, if you had that knee injury before you came into service, you need to prove how that knee injury is impacted because of service and how it has continued to worsen because of your service, because of physical activity, because of another injury, because of your back, because of wear and tear, wearing a rucksack and wearing full battle rattle. You need to prove that and you need to keep that documented. You need to show, hey, VA, my knee, yes, it was bad before I came in. However, it's gotten worse due to service. Okay. Provide evidence demonstrating how military service aggravated the condition. Include before and after medical records that show a worsening of symptoms during or after your service. Okay. Number seven, insufficient evidence for secondary service connection. You can do secondary service connected claims. I do have videos about that here that I just talked about. It will be tagged in this video as well. But secondary service connection requires evidence that links a secondary condition to an already service connected disability. Make sure you're already service connected. So if you're filing for migraine secondary to tinnitus, are you rated? Do you have a 10% rating for that tinnitus? If you're going to secondary it, you need a Nexus and you need that knockout punch, that DBQ. Lack of proof of this relationship can lead to a denial. Make sure you include your headache log. Make sure you always have an up-to-date diagnosis. Make sure that you continue to get the help that you need and to get seen by your doctor, by the VA, or a medical healthcare professional. Provide a medical opinion or a Nexus letter from a qualified professional that explains clearly how the primary service connected condition has caused or aggravated the secondary condition. Include medical records and treatment notes that show the relationship between the two conditions. Okay. Number eight, disability ratings do not meet minimum requirements. The VA assigns ratings based on the severity of a condition according to specific criteria in the VASRD. If the symptoms do not meet the minimum criteria, the VA may not assign a compensable rating. The VA might still assign a 0% service-connected rating. Yes, that is a secret weapon. Yes, that is a silent killer. The 0% service connected rating means you still may be service connected and always has room to go up for whatever condition it may be. However, it's non-compensable at this level. Make sure to submit detailed medical evidence showing the full extent of your symptoms for whatever condition you're filing for. Number nine, claims filed after separation without Continuation of care, continuation of symptomology. That's a big no-go. If there is a significant gap between the time of military discharge and the date of filing the claim, and there is no documented evidence of ongoing symptoms, guess what? Veterans, if you're listening, the VA may deny the claim. You got to go get seen. Provide evidence of continuous symptoms or treatment since separation, such as medical records, prescription history, statements from healthcare providers, lay statements from family, friends who observed the symptoms over time and can also support your claim, right? And missing or complete information rounds out our top 10. If there are gaps or missing details in the claim application, the VA may deny your claim. The application must be thorough and include all relevant information. Carefully review your application for completeness. You are your best advocate. You need to know what is in your medical records. Make sure, veterans, that you fill out all sections and attach all the supporting documents, including medical records and service records that are needed. Consider consulting with a VSO with the appropriate, get the right help, because these benefits are for life. So do not have missing or incomplete information at all. Make sure you are thorough with that. Now, as promised, what do you do if you've been denied? Review your VA rating decision letter. That's that 17-page document, right? Make sure you read that. Make sure you look at why to see if they missed anything or if they didn't consider all the evidence, right? So if you do it, you need to understand if you get denied your rating letter, pay particular attention to the reasons for decision and evidence reviewed sections. A VA rating decision letter is a document, not to insult your intelligence, prepared by the VA rater that formally explains the VA's rating rationale for approving, denying, or deferring your VA disability claim. Your VA disability rating decision letter includes the VA's final rating decision and analysis, as well as why and how the VA rater and examiner arrived at their opinions and conclusions for your VA claim. If they're missing and they clearly miss some stuff and miss some evidence and there's a clear and unmistakable error, file a higher level review. If they're wrong and you have favorable findings and they're saying that you need a Nexus letter or a DBQ, look, reach out. You need to submit a supplemental claim. Supplemental claim must provide new and relevant evidence. Last option is go the Board of Veterans Appeals route, because you'll be waiting forever in your life to get that decision made. Don't do that. That is your last resort option, okay? Number two, decide your best appeal option. You need to decide what is the best course of action. Did they mess up? Did they not look at all my evidence? Is there clear and unmistakable errors? If you had all the right medical evidence but still got denied due to an error, or you want a second opinion, file a higher level review. If you didn't have all the right medical evidence and you want to add new and relevant evidence not previously considered, file a supplemental claim. If your higher level review, supplemental claim, and HLR of your supplemental claim, remember, you can higher level review a supplemental claim, are denied, you should consider a records only board appeal, but that is a last ditch effort, okay? Review your medical evidence. Match what you submitted with the evidence reviewed in your VA rating decision letter. Make sure that it is accurate and consistent. It's also a very, very good time for you to ensure you provided the VA with a current diagnosis and a medical record, a Nexus for service connection, and evidence of your severity of symptoms and negative impacts to your work life and social functioning. If anything important was missing from your original claim, file a supplemental claim with the new and relevant evidence not previously considered. File your VA appeal online. You can go to va.gov and file it, okay? File your higher level review or supplemental claim online, right? Make sure that you do that. Be proactive, be patient, and don't ever give up. If you need help or a Nexus letter or a DBQ, look in the description of this video. We are here for you. So those are 10 common reasons for VA claim denials and how you fight back, my friends. Thank you for your service to our country. Like, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell. Share this out with a fellow veteran that can utilize this information, and stay in the fight. Do not ever give up. Thank you for your service to our country.